We got this, boys. Come tomorrow, we'll be on that mountain like a smoked sausage on a hickory grill. Patrick Star! Patrick Star!
Do you hear something?
Hello, I am Kate Eads, and I am the Foley Artist for SpongeBob the Musical at Muscatine High School. Foley is mainly behind the scenes. It's never been really in a live setting until I think this musical. Usually with musicals, you just have like a backing track that the people in the sound booth usually handle, but this is all live, so I am physically watching all of the actions on stage and correlating what I'm doing with it. I'm a percussionist at Muscatine High School, and I have done a lot of work within the percussion department. So it kind of just ended up being like it naturally came, and then kind of as we were doing it, I really came into the part and did a lot more with Foley, which I hadn't been very familiar with before. I've you've always heard like the sound effects and stuff in films, but I've never really like gone into that and how those are produced and made. So this has just really opened my eyes. In addition to the Foley part, I actually play a percussion part too with it. So I am doing kind of both of those things at the same time. It was really, really hard the first couple weeks just because it was a lot of like, what am I doing? I don't really know what I'm doing. So I did a lot of researching online, and I watched a lot of interviews with the Foley Artist, both from the Broadway performance and the national tour. Is kind of how I found this guy who did the national tour. His name's Ryan. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he's very awesome. And I contacted both of them just to kind of like, I'm having a hard time kind of finding some of these iconic sounds so that I can do my job effectively. And Ryan and Mike actually both got back to me, but I got to have a FaceTime call with Ryan, and he was awesome. I just kind of got to share like my setup and stuff with him, and he gave me some tips. He gave like me actually insight as to what these were called, these stretch tubes, which was really helpful because it's like, where is the sound coming from? But Ryan was extremely helpful, and it was just really nice to also share what I had done with someone else that kind of like really understood and got it. So that was just also an awesome experience. But yeah, kind of after I talked with him, it was just kind of like a springboard from there, and I like really got into it and did a lot more like searching into how to find sounds and how to make sounds. So I have things like SpongeBob's footsteps that are digital, and then I have other things where he makes these like squeaking sounds that are done by these squeaky toys up here. And I also have this one right here is the other one I mainly use, and it has like a release. And I have a lot of sounds. If you look up here, I have all of them labeled with sticky notes. A ton of analog sounds over here. My favorite one to use probably are these stretch tubes over here. I can show you if you'd like. Where there's one part where Sandy is like dropping a book down, and I basically pull on this. So it's a lot of fun. Like the really iconic sounds, like SpongeBob. Like those are his footsteps, and I'm watching the actors go across stage as they're walking, and I'm mimicking their footsteps. You also have like Squidward's footsteps. And then I have a lot of like one-off sounds. So like there's one section where I have like at the beginning of Act 1 and 2, I have this blowhorn. That kind of starts the day. And there's a lot of other cool ones that I get to do. At one point they do like this little cursing segment, and in SpongeBob, they're done with dolphin noises. So I have like I have dolphin noises that I'm using, so to mimic their like cursing, which is really, really funny. So yeah, I have a lot of sounds that I'm working with, and a lot of these I use multiple times throughout the show, especially the walking. There's also kicking a lot of times where she, especially Sandy, she does karate. So I have these kind of karate movement sounds that I use with her to kind of add some of that to her character. I also have like other analog sound effects that I'm doing. So like for Pearl, who's the whale, she has very loud footsteps. So I have this bass drum down here that I do her footsteps with. There's also other things like Mr. Krabs. He also has this walking noise, and I do that with these wood blocks. So there's just a lot of different stuff that I that I do on the fly, either whether it is through the keyboard or through something that I physically make sound using both a script and a percussion part that I've been given. I've also taken time to look at the score, so I have in some songs I have cues written in for whenever certain characters have lines or something along those lines, so that I know when what I need to be looking for in that moment. So it's been a lot of work of kind of compiling those things, because the show is so new that there aren't the resources that necessarily combine them all together. But it's been really interesting and very eye-opening just to kind of compile those things together and really make sure I'm working to a level that I can have it integrated both into the music and into the when there's just scenes going on without any backing.